I was on the Great Lakes Pets Committee for a couple, 3 years, and I can tell you that we slaved that survey, not only internally with the committee, because that was our marching orders for the following year. We were very careful about the questions we asked and that sort of thing. We just didn't pop out this generic thing. Not that you guys did. So we had internal feedback, and then if we had great feedback, great reviews, we slaved those reviews to the public and used it to sell the next event. This is what people said, like they do with movies, Bafo, best summer movie of the year, because they were writing terrific copy for us. But in most cases, that copy never sees the light of day. And by the way, we cleaned up things like punctuation and stuff. We didn't want to embarrass anybody. Sometimes we punched it up a little bit, but we just edited for continuity. So it's a really easy thing to do. It's cheap, free. The thing is timing. You have to tell everybody you're going to do it, so they expect it. And then you tell them they have to reply within a certain time frame, because the colder the event gets, the fewer responses you're going to get. And this is key. You send it out within 5 working days of the event, and then you send another request for them to fill it out in another 5 days. And you can bump up attendance, not attendance, but response by 15%. Vacuum, it was kind of a two-parter, Allison, which is what are you doing now, which is the baseline. Uh, because I can't just give you advice without knowing what you've done and where you're at. And then the second thing is, where do you want to be? So the easy ones are the ones that are measurable, like attendance, very easily measured. You could measure PE attendance, presidents-elect. I'm gonna do abbreviations here for people watching the video. Presidents-elect, you could measure. Do you invite PNs to the event?
Not officially.
And that's an interesting thing too. Look, the framework for pets is so interesting. It's always been a template event. It's always been a mandatory event. If you don't attend pets, you can't be president of your club. Well, people figure this out that they could still be president, and now they've gamed the system. Now they stay away from the mandatory event, and there's nothing we can do about it. They called our bluff. So we still can't make them attend. We could never make them attend. What we must do is increase the value proposition. And that means we have to finally market this template event, which we never marketed before because you had to come to it. And we kicked the Great Lakes program into gear on marketing. We increased attendance by 15% the first year that the new committee had it. This is a couple years ago now. And then we went to work measuring things like excitement, which is not as easy to measure something. Now, I have a suggestion. You mentioned 2 words, which is motivation and discussion. And on the face of it, these seems like a pretty good sell. Who doesn't want to be motivated? Who doesn't want to discuss things and, with like-minded people? But we have to think about the end game. What do they ultimately want from being motivated? It's not a rhetorical question. It turns out some people don't actually think about this. What is the end result of being motivated? You just whatever comes to mind, guys, gals.
Energy,
Yeah, so you
planning.
have
Yeah.
so you have more energy. So your district is excited. So your presidents are excited. So they're highly performing. So they can grow their clubs. I mean, this is at the top of the triangle. These are the things that everybody wants. Motivated sounds too much like we're having ice cream, but it doesn't tell you anything about the kind of ice cream or what time we're having it or what temperature the ice cream is going to be. You have to be very specific about what you're going to give them. In writing, it's called word substitution. In my business, the speaking business, I'm a motivational speaker for those of you that don't know, for better or worse. I mean, I teach presentation skills with a motivational flair, but I was a motivational speaker, strictly speaking, for the first 3 years of my career. And then I figured out that's a pretty crowded field. Everybody's a motivational speaker. If I was going to differentiate myself and make myself special, I had to become something else. So now, 4 words, I teach presentation skills. That's what you get from me. Do you get motivated? You bet. But I don't talk about that as much. Same thing with your pets event. Of course you're going to get motivated. That's why you come to a big event. But specifically, how will you get motivated? And what's the end result of that motivation? Marketers talk about it like this. We're going to motivate you so you can. Keep adding those words. So you can, dot, dot, dot. And then they'll say, so you have energy. So you can focus on all the good things. And so you can handle all your challenges. So you have more time. And you just keep drilling down. And soon the audience, the PEs, will tell you what resonates with them the most. Like you'll get a 10-to-1 response on, say, time management. And then so you double down on time management, you see. For the uninitiated, Allison's exactly right. They don't know who I am, so you're not selling my name. What's more important than my name with regard to my keynote?
The message.
Yeah, and specifically the title of the keynote. Not just my keynote, but all of them.
Right.
And also, even more important than that, the bullet points. What are they going to get from me? What are they taking home from me? Because they can't take the title home. They take home the knowledge that I share with them. For example, if one of my bullet points is three ways that you can grow your club, 3 easy ways to grow your club. I mean, we would just really go to work on wordsmithing it. And then I send those bullet points to you. I'll do this for anybody that asks. I do it sometimes when they don't ask. I send, here's what I'm going to tell everybody. Then they don't share the bullet points. They think my name's going to carry the day. It does not. Same thing is true for the titled people in our great organization. You know, just because Stephanie Urchik is coming doesn't mean she's a draw. The president may be a draw, and Stephanie herself may be a draw, but you want to take that chance. What is the best thing about Stephanie's message that you just can't miss? You can't afford to miss this. It's going to be too good. Remember, marketing is the illusion of something that hasn't yet happened. We know as a committee, you got a nice stable of speakers. We know what it's like to be in a room full of 350 or 400 people all singing the same song off the same page in the hymn book. That's pretty cool. But there are people that don't get this, and our job is to convince them in advance to pony up the money. And once they get signed up, I work with 100-day campaigns. I suggest you use something like that, a long campaign. Once you get 200 people signed up, you start telling everybody you have 200 people, because that's a selling point. 200 people already registered. And Allison knows already that you use social for that. Like, I don't know if you have a pets web Facebook group or Facebook page, or do you market to the district Facebook page maybe?
Yeah, that was
to each district, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did both. Well, we did something clever. We hadn't had a lot of success with a pets Facebook group. What happened was every year they were starting a new one. It was a mess. Even if you had a really good, like a kick-ass Great Lakes Facebook pets page, the person trying to find it would have to sort it out from the 5 offerings. I mean, it was crazy, and we couldn't quit the other pages because Facebook doesn't make it easy to do that. So we routed everybody to a page I had started years ago called Get the Word Out Now. Some of you may be still in it. And you're welcome to use my group too for that. Understand, you're not going to be getting to exactly your people. You're going to be getting to people all over the world. I convinced Great Lakes Rotary it was in their best interest to do this because A, we had no other way to go. We didn't have a group that was functioning. And B, this was our chance to become an exemplar in the pets world. You know, we could show everybody how to improve their game. And it happened. But we also marketed, to your point, Allison, to the district pages. And sometimes it was just a copy paste, you know, you could just move the message over. Because people belong to both groups, we even staggered when we posted it. Tuesday to this group, and then Wednesday to this group. So there's all kinds of clever ways to do this. I also favor, as long as we're talking marketing, something called iterative overlapping messaging. Iterative means it happens over and over again. But just because it happens over and over again, say in an email, doesn't mean you don't change the subject line of the email. If you got a crappy open rate, you don't want to send that same subject line. You want to tweak it. And so you're looking for what was the open rate, and almost any program shows you that now. Constant Contact, Survey Monkey, all of them. I think Club Runner even does it. Are you Club Runner or DACDB?
We're
Well,
both, I
we're
think.
both. So
You're
3 of the
both?
districts, I think, are
We had a
DACD,
mix too.
2 are club.
Yeah,
run,
yeah.
so,
Welcome to Rotary.
Yep.
So iterative means over and over again. Quick message about that. I read one time that McDonald's has to advertise an Egg McMuffin to us 11.5 times before we actually buy one. Which means if you're not any better at marketing than McDonald's, you're going to have to send them that same email 11.5 times in a clinical world. I'm not suggesting you send 11.5 emails. This is an example, iterative.
Well, you
And-
have to, we also have to, because people are joining the PE lineup every month, right? Every
Yeah,
month the club, like
That's right. They're new
not
to
every
you.
club knows who their PE is right now. So it does have to repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and overlapping means they would see it like with the Egg McMuffin. You see it on the billboard, and you drive by it. Then you hear it on Spotify in your car, and oh, that sounds good. And then you're getting off for gas, and you go, "There's a McDonald's. Why am I thinking about an Egg McMuffin?" So there's three overlapping messages that got you to stop and do it. So I favor that, and because advertising and marketing is free right now in a digital world, I don't pay for it ever. And I don't think you should pay for it. If you're just clever and game this out, like this 100-day campaign, you can do it. How many keynotes are you having this year?
We have 4 in total,
Okay,
including our president-elect of the
sure.
Rotary
I
National.
might have shared this one analogy with you, Sandy. Allison's no doubt heard it from me. I've been using it for years, that you market an event like a piece of sushi. I don't know if you all like sushi, but a sushi, when you put that little rice ball in your mouth, it explodes with flavor. And the reason it does is because the sushi is designed to do that. There's spice and there's salt and there's savory and there's cold and there's crunch, and it all hits in different parts of your mouth. It's like a taste bomb. And similarly, you market your speakers, and then you market your venue, and you're marketing the food, and you market the theme. And by the way, you market your speakers separately. Don't send them all. You could send them all an array of the 4 speakers,
Mhm.
but wouldn't you get more impressions if you could separate the speakers and push them out separately and make each of them look like celebrities? We did that. We thought that would be a big gain for us because we got such high flyer speakers. It turns out that what had better gain for us was making the DGEs celebrities. And we used Canva to make them look like movie stars. High res photographs. And if they sent us crappy photographs, we went back to them again. A fun story about a very prominent Rotarian who was a DGE for us. And he sent us the crappiest headshot I've ever seen. And so we requested a new one, and he sent us another crappy one. And I'm like, well, how long have you been in Rotary? I didn't say this to him, but I'm thinking, how long have you been in Rotary, man? Figure this out. And we think finally his wife or somebody must have helped him, because he finally sent us a professional high grade version, right? And it was the same photograph. He was just sending us the low res because he didn't even know any better, or he was in a hurry, or he couldn't tell the difference, whatever. I'm just saying somebody has to maintain the quality control on your end. So if they're not sending you what you need, you ask them. Another thing, everybody has the same Rotary bio, especially the higher you get. It always amuses me when district governors remind us that they were president of a club. Well, you have to be president of a club to become a district governor. That's not new information. And if you were membership chair of your club, I mean, good for you, but who hasn't served as membership chair? So we wanted to know 3 factoids about you that nobody knew. And I learned this when I watched another meeting planner do this, and she always asked for this from her. Oh, it was a TED Talk I did in Florida. She said, send us 3 things nobody knows about you. So I sent her 3. One is, I haven't had ketchup in 19 years. Another is, I don't comb my hair. It goes back to my music days, don't ask. I just put my hands through it, everything works out fine. And I forget the third. Oh, I've been to the Academy Awards. Unusual stuff, right? Guess which one is in every introduction? Because the person introducing me always weeds through it and decides what they want to use. Every time I get introduced, somebody tells the audience, I don't eat ketchup.
Mhm.
The audience loves it. There's what's called an audible from the audience when that happens. So when you get those kind of factoids from the DGEs and then you push it out on social, they get a lot more attention and engagement than you would if you told them they were membership chair of their club 7 years ago. Other things that you want to improve about the event?
We really like the teaser, that's probably not the right word, that you did for the Great Lakes Pets. The video,
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really exciting, and I had shared it with the group. Anyone want to
Great.
comment on that?
Yeah, so a couple sand traps. It's easy to create the video, super easy. The hard part is getting the views.
Mhm.
And if you're not going to bother to get the views, don't put somebody through the video. So we always decide in advance how many views are we committing to getting, because Allison can't do it herself. And certainly nobody wants to see Allison posting the same damn video ad nauseum. So it's got to go out in different ways. Again, that overlapping iterative messaging. Everybody's got a copy of it. You keep it on your computer clipboard or on your desktop for 100 days, and you just move it over to social. Or ideally, Allison knows this. If you post the video natively to social, you get more views. But it's harder to do that. You have to wait for it to load and buffer and all that. It's easier to post the YouTube link, but not in the actual post, because Rotary will throttle it. So the trick is to put link in comments, and then you drop it in the first comment. These are little tricks that you have to do to game the system. Facebook does not want anybody to go watch YouTube, so they make it hard. Allison, do you know anything else about how to do that better? Oops, can't hear you.
I think if they're short enough, I probably would try to just do the actual video file, but
Okay.
we'll have to see.
And then,
Big
of
it-
course, the proof is in the pudding. You watch to see how many people like it. If nobody liked it, that means nobody saw it. Honestly, I'm not sure the theme has ever sold many registrations.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Even when we make up our own themes. So we pulled a rabbit out of a hat last year. I want to share it with you. We did karaoke for 450 people.
I love
And
it.
the audience lost their minds. They loved it. We have video, we have proof of concept. I don't know if they're going to do it this year. I'm not on the committee, but it was a winner. And it was Friday night, when you normally release people on their own reconnaissance to go drink or whatever they're going to do. Again, back to that informal discussion that everybody values. But we thought before they do that, we'll have some fun. We did an hour of karaoke, and of course, you ran it through the big PA. There are tricks for this. But this is another thing in that piece of sushi that you can push out. We can talk more about it if you care to. But we used it as a fish bait. You remember, you want to use bait that the fish likes to eat. And so we knew that if we could frame this in a way that people would go crazy, that it would be a draw. And the people in the audience that did karaoke right away said, I wasn't going to go to Pets, but I do a hell of a karaoke. And I'm going now, because I like to be on stage. So you try to have a message for everybody, so that all the fish come over to the hook and they want a piece of that tasty food.
So would you do a kind of a teaser about you being a speaker at Pets? I mean, we use the speakers
yeah.
as speakers?
It's the same challenge though. Like I'll do a video for you, but and I always do a little side wager with whoever asks for me. I say, I ask them, how many views do you think you can get? It's usually this wild guess because nobody really knows. And I say, great, let's talk again in a couple months and see how you're doing. Because I want to plant
Yeah.
plant that goal with them, just like you want to plant the goal of, if you had, whatever the numbers are, if you had 325 come last year and you want to have 375 this year, you have to tell everybody. When you're more specific about what you want, you're more likely to get it. We don't say we want more people, we want more energy, we want Rotary to be more fun. You can't measure that. But if you be specific about how you want to get that done, it's a lot more likely to happen.